What is up? It says we are live.
Live. How loud is this mic? I got it keyed way up. Is it too loud?
Let me know. Is it too loud? That Earth creature stole my Q-35 aluminum space modulator. He makes me very angry.
Not a very good one. What is up, 3D Printing Viking? My throat's a little clogged right now, so I can't really do a good Marvin the Martian. But we're going to fix that. Because tonight, I'm having a drink. Because I deserve a drink. What is up, Robert Reynolds? How come you don't have a wrench? Everybody in my streams have a wrench unless they're total idiots. And you're not an idiot. So you are now wrenched. This is the super awesome, I shouldn't be advertising, but I don't care. Super awesome rum my brother sent me. Ordering a few parts. Hey, 2 Trees Sapphire. That's like that off-brand Core XY, right? This rum is like really, really intensely awesome. It's really intensely expensive too. And I'm going to keep it weak because I still have elderly parents. If they come beckoning and calling, I have to be able to function. I can't be stumbled down drunk. But I can relax a bit. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I actually looked at that. That's been out a while, that Sapphire. Because that came out when I started building this thing that we're going to be pointing the camera at in a bit and not working on yet. So I did do a print on the new bed. And I had to do a little confounding and figuring with the magnetic sheet. But it's not the magnetic sheet's fault. I was a dummy. And if you watched my other video about how I did all of that, I took the straight edge and I went and leveled the bed and used tape to level it up. Well, more on me didn't heat the bed first. So the minute I heated up the bed, it went brrr. So I added some more tape. But I actually just put the tape right on top of, I don't know if you can see it. I put the tape, you can sort of see it right here. I put the tape right on top of the magnet, and it actually worked perfectly. And I got to say, that magnet's holding better than I thought. I'm really quite impressed for the money. I mean, it's I think it's $13, and then shipping, I think it came to like $17.90 for that one. I was under $30 for that, and I got a little one too, a little 200 by 200, because that's like $9.99. Any cubic photon, those are halfway decent printers. Yes, they are. The rum can go back into, actually, I'm going to keep the rum right there. I still have a half a can of soda. Well, a quarter of a can of soda. I didn't make this very strong, so as you can see, it's still dark. But I don't care, because I can smell this stuff. If you guys like rum at all, this is not something you should drink daily, because it's like 35 or 40 bucks a bottle. But oh my God, is it good. This is like, the only thing weird about it is it's really, really strong vanilla flavor. I feel like rum. Good rum. One of my favorites now. And it's ridiculously expensive. Good thing I don't drink a lot. I drink more on live streams than I drink in reality. Yeah, I'm not buying anything. I'm out of money. That's good. Could use just a tad more rum. And I'm going to give it to it. Just a tad. little more flavor. Just a little. So, yeah, I printed on that today. It was an all-day print. Took me a little bit to get it. Blueberry apple smoothie here. You know, I had smoothies. I always make smoothies for my parents for dinner. It's one of those. Me and my father aren't big on vegetables. So I do a lot of smoothies and that kind of stuff with the fruit. And sometimes I'll throw like some vegetable in there so he doesn't know I'm putting it in there. And so almost every dinner I make a smoothie. It's very often like banana, strawberry, and throw some juice in there and milk and yogurt. Just every day it's different. But blueberries are like prime right now here. They're actually coming from, I don't know, Mexico or something. But they're fairly cheap. Join the Facebook group, 3D Printing Viking Chit U-Box. Best slicer for the Proton. Is Chit U-Box an actual slicer? I've never heard of it. Or is it just for the Photon? Wait a minute, the Photon's a resin printer, right? Or is it the Core XY one? That's the resin printer, right? Yeah, for resin printers. That's what I thought. Have you guys tried using the Prusa setup? Just wondering. I printed on this today using Idea Maker, and it came out all right, but it was wicked stringy. And part of it is just, it's so ridiculously humid here. It was like 92 degrees in this room, and it was like 75 or 76% humidity during the day. And it was just humid. And I have a feeling that made the filament worse. But it was really stringy. And it was the settings I know I use for retraction and everything. So I was going to try the Prusa slicer on this. I haven't tried it on this. I tried it on the, you can't, well, maybe you can see it back there. Can you see it back there? Yeah, there it is. Right there. That one. It actually works really well for that. But that's basically a Prusa anyways, because it's got the, it's even got the Einzi board on it. So it's pretty much a Prusa printer. Same setup. Where this has got the Max, the Max Micron has the Einzi. This has got the MKS board on it and all that crap, which is much quieter. This is actually quieter. MKS with the 2208s is quieter than that Einzi board is. I think some of it is my settings in the firmware. I'm not sure I got that Einzi board set up correctly for the drivers. I have yet to figure out how to. It's funny. Everyone rants and raves about the digitally adjustable firmware settings for the, amperage and all that. Yeah, I love the 2208s. I love them because they're just a drop-in replacement. There's no firmware adjusting your stock, what are they, 4498s or 4899, whatever the standard cheapo driver is. The 2208s are drop-in. You don't have to assign anything to them. It just works. I did nothing on this thing to get the 2208s to work, and they are freaking quiet. I mean, they're quieter than both of these. I don't care. The Duet is not as quiet as this. And the Einzi isn't anywhere near as quiet. Part of it is I think that printer is just old. I've put new bearings on it, but I've rebuilt the thing dozens of times, and it's just getting old. I think it needs all new bearings in it again, because I keep buying cheap crap bearings. Amazon junk. Cheapest thing I can find, which is probably not too bright. I repack them with my little, if you've ever seen it, I got a little grease packer tool that actually goes up inside the ball bearing. Speak, Tom. inside the linear bearings. Slides up inside, has a little cap, and you squeeze the tube of grease into it, and it packs the grease into the bearings. It's very cool. Yeah, I'm about. That's just. Yeah, I think my next build will be. Not that I got any money or any time to build anything, but I'm seriously thinking about getting rid of both of these boards, the Duet and the Einzi. And I'm thinking about replacing the Duet with that new SKR board with 2208s. And the Einzi, I would probably do the same thing or do the MKS again. I'm loving the MKS with the 2208s. The only thing I found with the MKS Gen L, which not a lot of people realize, is it has a glitch. And I don't know why, but the temperature on the hot end fluctuates a lot, like 2 or 3 degrees plus or minus. So it's got a 5 degrees fluctuation. Yeah, the Duet's a nice board. Yes, there's no question about it. It's a good board, but I can sell the Duet, get the SKR, get my 2208s, and still make $50 or $100. And I'm sorry, it's just as good. There's nothing. I like the Duet. I didn't at first. It's weird to set up. I'm not going to say it's harder because it's not harder. It's just if you're used to Marlin and installing Marlin, it was odd. I like the firmware front end where you can adjust settings. You're actually, people say, oh, you can adjust the setting. You can adjust the firmware in a web browser. No. You can adjust settings for the firmware in the web browser. You're basically doing the same thing as you do when you go with Marlin and you type in the M500. You're hitting the E prompt. You're saving it to the, it's a 32-bit board where it has the SD card. You're hitting the SD card with settings. You're actually not changing the firmware. The firmware is on the card. It's built in. It runs the thing. You're just changing settings to the firmware. That makes sense? Which is something my brother, the super geeky, I have 2 super geeky brothers, actually 3 of them, all in different fields, but one of them builds boards. That's what he does. And he talks about the firmwares. And I said, well, the firmware is right here on the software. He's like, that's not the firmware. That's not the firmware. It's the settings. You're just turning the settings. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a firmware. But anyway, yeah, the Duet's nice. It's nice to have the web browser thing. It's very nice. I kind of, in a way, prefer a Pi. There's a couple things on the Pi the Duet's missing. I like the camera just being there. As you can see, there's a camera right here. Everything's backwards. I'm trying to do it on my screen, and the screen's in reverse of reality. You can have the camera watching it. Now, the latest Duet software does have a webcam direct input setting, but the webcam has to be a true webcam. What I mean is, you set up a webcam through the software and through your server and through your modem and all that. Yeah, this is running Octoprint. There's a Pi over here. You can't quite see it's on the other side of the box. But you can take an actual webcam all by itself. Set up a webcam. So it's addressed just like this camera here. This is a webcam. You can set it up, port it, and the Duet software now, the interface, you can get the URL, ID code, whatever, off the webcam, and it will display in the field of the Duet's software. It'll display in the Duet interface. Yeah, the Pis are good. They have their glitches too. My biggest problem is I don't know why, but everybody sets their Pis up at 2250 whatever rate of transfer speed, and I cannot get them to connect for anything in either one of these printers. This printer and this printer. That printer right there. They both have their own pies. I didn't even multicast the pies. They both have their own pie. And 1156 is the fastest I can connect to them. They will not connect at the 22.5, whatever it is, the fastest speed that supposedly USB can do. And it might be the USB cables. I doubt it. I have really high-end USB cables. It could be the printers. Again, I doubt it because they both have high-end boards or mid to high-end boards now. So I don't know what it is about the connection, but it's still plenty fast enough. There's so many people that bitch about the Pi and it's restricting and everything. The Pi is operating so much faster than any 8-bit board. There's no lag from the USB unless you're doing something wrong. USB is faster than the 8-bit board is. It's that simple. The USB can transfer material faster than an 8-bit board. Even USB 2, which is what the Pis, I believe, still use. The older Pis. The new one may not. Oh, I didn't stir that. Well, I just did a shot of rum. Oh, that's okay. I needed it. Anyway, back to the original subject. Mr. Red Light, if you were on my other live stream the other night when I put this fan on this one and the fan burned out before I even finished hooking it up, which is very upsetting because I actually like this setup with the big fan. Anyway, Mr. Red Light, who is not here and I wish he was, had sympathy on me and sent me a new power supply, which is exactly the same power supply. I mean, it's exactly the same. The only thing different is I cut this one open and put this big ass fan on it. This has still got the stock fan on it, which is actually the exact same power supply that's in that, because I have this exact same power supply in there. You might have a different brand on it, but they look exactly the same. They're all 360, 30 amp, 12 volt. They're exactly the same power supply. They're all the same. They're just rebranded or renamed, or I don't even think this has a name on it. But anyways, he sent me this. He's like, "Oh, I'll send you one. I got some." He didn't send me one from his stash. He bought a brand new one off of Amazon and sent it to me, which is very cool of him. He really didn't have to do that. I thought he was just going to send me one, like he had a bunch of them laying around, kind of like I do. I have another power supply, but it's not big enough to drive that thing. Anyway, he sent me this, so I'm going to mount it. It was brandy spanking new. I took it out of the box and everything. I had to cut the tape. I was like, holy crap, dude, that's crazy. Anyway, he's a nice guy. So I'm going to hook this up. Probably not going to actually print anything on it tonight because it is just too freaking hot. I finally got the room temperature in here is 82 degrees at 65% humidity right now. It's hot in here. Outside, it's 73 degrees. I don't know if you guys can hear the fans running, but I got the window fan right here running and my ceiling fan running, which you can't see, but it's right above my head. I don't know how much of that you can hear, but they're all running. So I probably won't print because I just don't want to heat anything up in here. It's just too hot. I ran that printer for most of the day, and it got done at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I started at 8, and it was done about 2 o'clock printing. I made a little shelf. Actually, I made a shelf to hold these things for my parents down in their new little toilet / bathroom / what's up, RCCNC? It holds these, and it just mounts. Actually, it's very cool. I'm going to pull it up. Actually, I can pull it up right here. You can see it just by looking at this, and I got to share my screen. Share screen. Let's just do the entire screen because it's just easier. Here it is, little shelf I designed real quick. Screws to the wall. You really don't even have to hit studs because it doesn't weigh anything and it's not going to hold much. It's just holding these little... One model invalid. Why is it saying it's invalid? It came out of here. Repair. It's repaired. I thought I exported it. Whoops. Command Z. Command Z. I'm going to export that after I repaired it. Export model. Shelf. Export. Export. Let's just make it one export. Shelf. I'm going to call it fixed. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Fixed. Go to the desktop. Save. Done. That's one thing I love about Idea Maker. You can fix a model. See this check mark right here? That means I fixed the model. Now, I already exported it out once. Hey, red light. How's it going? We were just talking about you. Thank you for the... You can't see me, but I'm holding up the power supply you sent me because you're an awesome dude. And we're going to put that on in a minute. But we're talking about, or I'm talking about, babbling about, this here shelf I just designed and printed today. For holding... Stop sharing. These for my parents, because my father is very ill. Actually, he's not so ill anymore. He's getting much better, much faster now he's home. He's regressed more in the last, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days. He's progressed upwards more in the last 5 days since I brought him home than he did in 2 months in that rest home. I shouldn't call it a rest home. It was a rehab center. They don't like him. They don't like you calling it a rest home anymore. It was a rehab center. They kept him in a wheelchair all the time. I'm like, screw that. I handed him his walker, and I said, walk. He's like, okay. Don't have the time. He doesn't even use the walker anymore. I mean, he's a little unstable, and he's good about, if he's tired, he'll grab the walker and use it. But he just picks it up, walks away with it. Up in the air. He's like, if I start feeling like I'm dizzy or I'm going to fall down, I drop it on the floor and I lean on it. Otherwise, if I'm tired, I bring it with me. If I'm not, I just walk my ass wherever I know. And he's not exactly stable. He's old already, plus all of this medical crap that happened to him. But anyway, so I made him a little shelf to hold his butt wipes. So, should we put this here power supply on the LlamaCore printer? Should we do it? It won't take very long. I think we should do it. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I am. I'm missing my adjustable screwdriver. Damn it. Don't really need it. All right, let's move the camera over where we can see the LlamaCore. LlamaCore. Look at these awesome 3D printed 2020 extrusions with the built-in mounting little angle brackets. Built in, so I can just put a screw in here with a lock nut. They're built in. I had to glue it in the middle. Whoop, whoop. Why does it tip it? Never did that before. Wow, that's new. I'm thinking the humidity has warped this here thing. Why is the rum gone? Why is our CC&C not wrenched? You are getting wrenched, man. Add moderator. You have been wrenched. The rum's not gone. It's just sitting on the sidelines. It is far, far from gone. So let's mount this puppy up. Hopefully I can remember how to do this. I need my glasses. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I got the mic keyed way up because I'm going to be a little ways as far as it'll go. So hopefully you can hear me. Not that it's worth hearing me because I just babble anyways. I think it's almost easier to screw the power supply. Zap! Oh, wow. Which one's which? This one's not really worked well. This one's like backwards, isn't it? Oh, wait. It's the same. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Just the old one had it all printed out, and this one it's actually like carved into the aluminum. I don't know if you can see that. No biggie. So, I'm guessing this is the ground. I probably have to back out the screws like I do. And no, it's not plugged in if that's what you're asking. Looks like corrugated tubing. It's not, it's just 3D printed. But this is a 0.8 nozzle. So I did it at like 0.4 layer height. So yeah, you can really see, if you were looking at it, you can really see the layer lines. Because it's such a coarse layer height. Ground first. I always do the ground first. I had a friendly electrician years and years ago teach me that. And he taught me that right after I got whacked putting in an outlet. He's like, dude, put the ground in first, and you won't have that problem. Now I got blue and brown. I'm hoping the blue I made neutral, which I know I did because it's me. To be honest, I wish all boards. That's the one thing I really hate about this thing. I don't know if you can see these. I absolutely hate these big green tower or whatever connectors. They are too flimsy, too floppy. I much prefer this kind of what I call an automotive connector. It's really not what they're called, but I much prefer these kind of connectors. They're just more solid, it's a better connection, it's a safer connection. You can crank it down, you don't have to worry about it. It's one thing I really liked about the Einzy board. The Einzy board had this kind of connector on it with the solid screws, and you slide it in, and you know, you put a horseshoe connector into it. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, you can sort of see them. And then we have, if I remember correctly, there's one negative, and there's 3 negative and 3 positive. So I can do this one. I want to do the 2 middle ones. This one and this one. Right. Positive, negative, yep. This one's a positive. Good. You don't have to worry about it. The freaking flimsy connect. I just don't like those tall green tower connectors. I need much safer and stronger and a better connection. Yet these are actually rated for lower amperage. I don't know why or how that's possible, but they are, or so I was told. I don't know if it's true or not. Then we just mount it on the printer. Open it up. It is. Isn't it? Good. Loosen this one. Move this one around a little. It'll catch. Right on it. Okay, be that way. Just be that way, I say. We will just loosen this up a little. So I can slide it around. And then line that up so it fits. So, then tighten that up. Tighten this up anyways. Yeah. She's all in there. And that, my friends, is that. Are we gonna see the dreaded blue smoke? Here's my other hat. The glasses. I do use one of these things for my power. It's got a little switch on it. A little Belkin units. Over that reads. There are also many like power supplies / power switches. I love these things because if anything does go wrong, I can flip this switch super fast. Other boards I have screwed down terminals like the NZ. I hate the El Cheapo GST connectors too. Just place them all with the MKS board with latch 2-pot connectors. Oh, you actually like unsoldered them and changed them on the board? I wish I was that good. I'm not that good. I'm a terrible slaughterer. Techie Dad. No butt on screen. Techie Dad's not a moderator. He's now a moderator. Did I have my butt on screen? I'm sorry. My butt is fat. And we have juice. And the lights are blinking. Let's see what the I repaired boards all day long. Well, good for you. I'm very proud of you. That's I wish I'm terrible at soldering. I am the worst at soldering. File, new tab. Let's go to the LlamaCore and see what it says. It says it's live. It says everything is good. See, this is nice. I gotta say, I do like this about the Duet. What I don't like about the Duet is there's no G-code viewer, which I use a lot. The G-code viewer or the sliced viewer or whatever you want to call it in most of the slicers is not as good as a flat layer black and white line drawing of the actual tool path, at least for me. In Octoprint, matter of fact, you know what? I'll pull it up because that baby will boot right up. If I go to the Frown King as soon as it's done booting up, boot up, Frown King. Come on, Frown King, boot up. Frown King's booted up. The Pi's not booted up. Come on, Pi. I know you can do it. Here we go. Frown King, Octoprint. Okay, why are you not loading it? Usually it loads like instantly. Probably because I'm streaming at the same time, so it's like dogging my poor little network. Yep, I just had a drink. Come on. Reload there. No. Wrong one. Frown King. There we go. Now, if I load something, let's say that, I go to this G-code viewer. I can't tell you how many times just doing this right here, I have caught errors in my prints. Just doing this right here and going through it and finding crap. Just by scrolling through this and going, oh my God, what happened there, kind of thing, where there is none of that. Plus, you don't have the camera. They do have a camera import now, supposedly. I've yet to try it because I don't have a webcam. You have to have a designated webcam. Actually, I think it's right here in the settings. I think you can pull it up. Where is it? User interface. I think there's a webcam check thingy you can add. Here you go, webcam integration. Optional URL to external webcam. You have to have an external webcam, and you have to, have it all set up on your network, and it has to be a true webcam and networked webcam. But supposedly it displays it in the interface somewhere. I have no idea where. I've never done it. But there is that. Let's kill the Frown King. Shut it off because we don't need it running for nothing. Let's kill the LlamaCore. Let's get rid of it. Oops. I never turned my own sound off. How was it not feeding back earlier? Goodbye. Stop. So, it seems to be working. Stop. There we go. That's too high. Right around there somewhere, so it's good. So, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Red Light. My LlamaCore is now up and running, it seems. I am not going to print anything right now because it is too freaking hot. And I don't have an air conditioner installed, and I'm trying to avoid it because money, electricity. He heard the tinkle tinkle of the ice. I think we need to replenish it. I wonder if this can get me demonetized. Oh, wait. You have to be monetized to get demonetized. I don't care. I'm not going to put much in there because there ain't that much Coke left, and I don't want to get stupid drunk. This is great rum. I cannot recommend it high enough. It has become my favorite rum. The LlamaCore, still a very good rum. I will buy it again. This is ridiculously expensive. It is wicked good, though. Like, really good. Might have to add more rum. That was a lot more soda than I thought it was. It is so freaking hot here. Hey, my temperature's gone down to 81 degrees from 82. I think I said it was 82 or 83 before. Now it's 81. With all the fans going. And it's down. The humidity's dropping fast. It is 62% humidity now instead of like 69 or 70 or something. No, my mother, they're just old. My mother's just old, overweight. My mother. They're both in their mid-80s. My father recently had kidney stones. He's had before. The problem is he had 30 of them, and they got infected, and the actual kidney stone got infected. So all the antibiotics in the world wasn't getting rid of the infection. And they gave him some antibiotics for urinary tract infection, which is what they discovered it was, not realizing the kidney stones were there. Gave him some antibiotics in the hospital. basically, he got really sick. I thought he had the flu. I took him to the hospital. They said, no, he doesn't have a flu. There's no temperature. But he was like delirious and just like out there. Thanks. Buy one. It'll help me support my parents. Took him to the hospital. They thought he had a urinary. They discovered he had a urinary tract infection. He was delirious. Blah blah blah. They gave him some antibiotics and sent him home. A week later, he literally collapsed on the living room floor. Luckily, both me and my brother were standing there. He was fine, and literally within like a half hour's time, he went to the point where he could not stand. He collapsed on the floor. Like, we laid him down, called the ambulance, like, take him to the hospital. They took him to the hospital again. This is a week after the first time. They did a full scan of crap, found the 30-plus kidney stones, discovered the kidney stones were the infection. Not only was the kidney stones infecting, but one of them had dropped down into the urethra, basically the tube between your kidney and your bladder, and was blocking, and all his urine was backing up back into the kidney and poisoned his blood. He poisoned himself, literally, and it just killed him. I mean, my father was literally a week before this all happened. He was out mowing the lawn, raking leaves. Now he can barely stand. So he's like wheelchair slash, walker only. Although he's walking now that he's home. He was in the hospital 6-8 times in a rest home slash rehab center for 2.5, almost 3 months. I finally brought him home on Friday. But that means I can't work because I'm full-time care for both of my parents. So there's that. Today has been a good day because my brother came down from Boston for the day. Luckily, when this all hit, my uncle had just passed from kind of similar situations, my father's brother, and my nieces and nephews were all like, do the paperwork for, all the stuff. And my parents agreed. Luckily, this was just before my father got sick. My uncle had passed. And both my parents were like, yeah, let's do it so you children don't have issues when we do pass, like they're having now, just getting the bills paid and doing the whole final thing. They're like, we sign over everything. I actually own this house in a way. I don't own it because there's that whole 5-year thing. But what they did is they put a lien on the house. So anything I do to the house, I bought the hot water tank, I bought the cold water tank, I bought the refrigerator, I bought anything I buy for the house is a lien on the house. So if the state takes over the house, I get my money back. I just hand them a receipt and say, this is all the money I spent in the said amount of time. If they take over the house, they have to give me a set amount of money. Plus, they actually have to give us 2 years because I don't own the house. The estate does. So they can't take it for 2 years. Let's say my father were to die tomorrow, my mother were to die the next day, I get the house for 2 years, which is not a big deal. I really don't want the house. First thing I'm going to do if they pass is I'm getting the hell out of New England. I dislike it here. But anyway, I probably wouldn't sell the house. I'd probably rent it. As long as I could pay the bills, they won't take the house. Anyway, it's a big, long legal BS. But right now, I'm out of work because I have to take care of them. So not only am I broke, but I'm not making money because I can't work. I mean, all day I'm, helping Dad go to it's a 2-hour trip. I gave him a shower today. It's a 2-hour trip to give him a shower. It literally takes 2 hours to give him a shower. And I have to be there the whole time holding this and that and the other thing. Oh, God. Please don't ever have to get yourself in that situation. It's all right. It's my father. I'll do anything for him. Same with my mother. Even though she's annoying, I'll do the same for her. My mother's pretty mobile. She's fine mentally. She's got leg problems and blood pressure problems. They're both old. They're in their 80s. Anyway, enough of the depressing crap. I do this to get away from that. The power supply worked beautifully. Thank you, Mr. Red Light. I appreciate it big time. If you buy a teeshirt, it's not to make me money. It's to help my parents. I also have a wish list on Amazon of just bare necessities. There's like sweatpants I'm trying to get from my parents, for my father, because he keeps trying to put cool. I really like the stupid one. When this all hit, I made that stupid 3D printing office. I should have made it makerspace or 3D printing, best 3D printing makerspace, and I just put office in there because it was literally an overnight. It was like a 2 o'clock in the morning idea that sprung into my head. My wife and in-laws are all LPNs. I know what you're going to. Yeah, it's not easy. There's more to it than that, because the other thing is my mother's an absolute hoarder / junk collector / garbage just yet in my house. And we had a major battle about cleaning out the house to get him in it. And the only thing we've gotten clean so far is half the basement. It took me 3 dumpsters. No exaggeration. 3 dumpsters of stuff just thrown out, and some of it was good. I mean, I wish I had the time to sort through it. I just had to throw it all out to get half the basement empty so I could build an apartment to get him home, because he needs a flat floor. He can't go up and downstairs. I've taken him up and downstairs, but I can't rely on that. He's got his good days and his bad days. Today was a good day. I brought him upstairs, gave him a shower. Unfortunately, the shower's up here. I had to build him a whole apartment in half of the basement, which is nice. I'm actually thinking if I can get my mother, and my brother was here today convincing her, blah, blah, blah. This is just way too progressing. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk 3D printing. This is my time to get away from that stuff. If you buy a shirt or you do the Amazon thing, it helps me out so I can support my parents and keep doing this crap. Otherwise, I got to let them go to a home and sell the house and be gone. I got 2 printers in my bathroom. Dude, this is not right. That is so wrong in so many ways. All I want to do is go, do you print poop? Can we make filament out of poop? Can we make poop filament? Thinking we can. They make everything out of poop now. You can take poop and make fertilizers. I mean, think about it. If you make an Adobe house, or not Adobe, out in the Midwest, the Indians used to take cow chips and make like teepee houses, not teepees, but houses out of cow chips, which is cow poop. So why can't we make filament out of poop? Yeah, I've got the 3 printers, and basically only 2 of them work. And only one of them was working until just like a minute ago when we put the power supply in there. And I'm actually thinking about getting rid of one of them. I haven't decided which. This thing's so quiet. It is actually the worst of all 3 printers. It is an absolute piece of garbage, but I've made it really halfway decent, and it prints okay. And it's the quietest of the 3, which is important to me. So I might just sell this thing or part it out. That thing right there. Because it's gotten really loud. The bearing's going bad. It's just, I've put new motors on it since. There's not much original on it. The actual frame and like the feet are the only thing original left on it. So I might sell that or part it out. I'd probably part it out. I can get more for the ING board than the whole printer as a whole. The only problem with getting rid of that was my only direct drive, and that thing spits out flexibles like unbelievably. That is the best flexible printer I've seen ever. And it's just an MKS direct drive, Prusa 3 style. But the way I rebuilt it, it prints I redid the extruder. I printed, and it's PLA. Everyone kept telling me, you can't do that in PLA. It's HTPLO. You anneal it, it does temperature just like ABS or PEDTT. You anneal it, HTPLA. It's as good, if not better, than ABS or PETT. And that's all. That's all HTPLA. All of it. It's mostly Maker Geeks. Actually, same with the LlamaCore. LlamaCore is all Maker Geeks, which I'm getting ready to switch over. I'm going to reprint it. I made a kind of a deal with Snow Labs. Unfortunately, I don't have the money to finish the deal. Snow Labs gave me a deal of they were going to take 45 or 50% off the rolls if I reprinted that and did videos and advertised for them and all that. They're going to give me the rolls at like 50% off, which is cheap. And if you haven't used Snow Labs filament, it's freaking awesome. And it's very much like Protopasta, but in some ways I think better. And it's cheaper, and you get twice as much. Don't get me wrong, I love Protopasta filament generally. Absolutely, I like Protopasta filament, but you're getting 500 milligram rolls, where Snow Labs is $5 cheaper for a full 2.2 pound 1 kilogram roll, and it's nice. I absolutely love that dark purple. They did send me one roll. I can never say that color. And focus on that. There you go. Black amethyst. I can never say it. I don't know why. It like twists my tongue. But there you go. HD PLA plus. I mean, they shouldn't call it PLA plus because there's PLA pluses out there that are not HTPLA, but this is true HTPLA. You can anneal it and all that good crap. Yeah. Sure. Mud houses. Yep. Cow poop houses. So anyway, I'm going to redo the LlamaCore in Snow Labs eventually. It's not going to happen anytime soon. We'll get rid of all of that Maker Geeks crap. Which, back when I bought that, it really wasn't crap. It was kind of nice. They had amethyst. Is that how you say it? I can okay, I have an excuse. Half my face has been ripped off. My mouth has been rebuilt. I can't say crap. I'm not exaggerating. Actually, half my face has been ripped off, and most of my mouth has been rebuilt. But that's a whole different story. We won't talk depression anymore. So, 3D printing. I escaped from all that other nightmarish crap. More I than Y. Diest. I don't know. I can't say. Somebody want to join in? I can, somebody can pop in here. I'd be more than happy to have someone jump in. And yes, the rum and coke's kicking in. I'm not drunk or anything, but I can feel it. It's making me feel better, happier. And I'll stop babbling about the depressing crap of my life and move on to the more exciting stuff. So anyways, I made this awesome shelf thing to hold these. And it printed okay. It was very, very stringy coming off of that printer. And again, I think it was just the humidity. But I think I'm going to print 2 more. Because that you can see it up here because of the bright lights. I wonder if I turn that light off, if you can see it. Yes, there you go. So now you probably can't hear me, but actually it's keying pretty good. There's the zombie containment area sign, I-1. And I'm gonna make little shells and put zombies on it. And if you watched my very early live stream, I did one morning, I think it was Sunday morning or Saturday morning, I printed the Prusia zombie, and come to find out it wasn't modeled correctly or something went wrong, and because there was top layers right in the middle of his neck, and then the head was a separate object. But I fixed it by putting it on sideways deliberately because he's a zombie, so half his head should be falling off. And I glooped it on. Used some gloop, and he's on there. So he's zombie number one. Yes, that's exactly what I was referring to, and it is awesome filament. I also have some of their bright green semi-transparent, which is just ridiculously awesome. And come to find out, when I was talking to him, tip over this stuff. This is Snow Labs. This is regular PLA. It's not HD PLA. But this is blacklight glowing too, and the camera isn't doing it justice. This stuff hurts your eyes. It's like retina killing green. Camera is just not doing it justice. It is alien greeny atomic acid, atomic waste green, and it is painful. And it's supposed to be blacklight glowing. Which is also Snow Labs. And I have something else from Snow Labs. I got like 3. And right now, if you get that black, and I think they're still doing you get Luby's wolf with it. I think that's like a permanent thing. Because she's actually the one that named that color. They made a top out of it. Pretty cool, huh? This stuff is the camera is not doing it justice. I'm watching it on the screen, and it's just not. This stuff is seriously like acid green. It's bright. But yes. Oh, they just popped the clip, didn't they? Yep. So anyway, somebody can join in. Please join in. I'm out of babble time. There's somebody else streaming right now. Open link and new subscriptions. Anybody else streaming right now? Nope. I figured like one of them would do it. Where it's the holiday tomorrow. The 4th of July is tomorrow. So yeah, anyways, I designed that shelf, which is cool. Why is that coming up wrong? No. Where'd it go? I fixed it, and then it's saying, here we go. It's still saying it needs repairs. That's weird. But I think I want to make it little zombie shelves. Not that you can see what I'm doing here. I'll share my screen. Which I already did before, but I made this cool little shelf. And I'm going to put 3 of them around that sign and put zombies on them. I actually think I'm going to take one of them and make like tomorrow's try to blow your hands off day. Yeah. It's like I actually shared it on Facebook because I saw this, a friend of mine put this picture of an M80 on it. And it's like a stack of M80s all in a package, like you used to buy them, like 6 or 8 in a pack. And he goes, if you know what this is, you should probably go back and fix that mailbox you blew up 20 years ago. I can do that if you're really that crazy. I have a roll now, and I have a half a roll left over. But it takes about a roll and a half to do that. And they're over. I want to redesign some of it. I'm gonna put a dual motor on the Z, and I'm gonna try and put 4 lead screws on it. I don't have them. Can't afford them. Large paper tank. Talking of tanks, do I still have that on here? Let me look. Notes. Let's see. Things to do. Yes. This. Okay. I'm going to share the screen. This is one of the projects I really, really want to do. See this thing right here? I want to build that. I really, really want to build one of those. And I got a pretty good idea on how to do it. And the cool thing is, I have this old busted up RC car I can do it out of, which works. It just needs parts. It's 2-wheel drive, and it likes to do this and drive into trees because you can't steer it the minute the front wheels came off the ground, which is why I built this. The battery's actually supposed to go under here, and I designed this and made it so the battery went up front to try and keep the front end on the ground, and it still just wheelied up and it would lift the battery. This thing had so much torque, it was unreal. This is a cool car. But I think using this frame and the motor and all that, I can build that little snow tready, tanky drive thing out of it. So that's one of my next coming up projects. Talking of tanks. Oh, you know what's really cool is fireworks. You ever see that massive monstrosity helicopter spinning fireworks they did in, like, I think it was Brazil or something, where there's like 100 people all lighting them at the same time, and the thing like spiraled. It was like 10 or 15 feet around. It just spirals up, and it's almost like a alien spaceship taking up off the ground. Just go, and it's just sparklers and fireworks. That thing was cool. It's like 2 or 3 years ago they did it. God, that thing is awesome. That is like the best fireworks thing I've ever seen. I never saw it parachute down. I always just saw the Facebook quick clip where they show everyone standing there lighting it and running away, and it like takes off. It's just smoke and fireworks everywhere. That was just cool as crap. That was like totally cool. I just posted on Facebook too. I reposted, or was it Twitter? The new, I don't know if you guys saw that. Europe just tested a 3D printed rocket engine, and it's basically a replica of what was on all our, it was a U.S. designed engine, rocket engine. That was used on all like the Mars landers and the, actually I think it was designed for the moon lander, and they're still using it. It's just a little jet, that guides it, which looks little. It's actually quite large. Just looks little when you're looking at the lander come down. It's like so it stabilizes it. But the thing does like 20 billion pounds of thrust or something ridiculous. Anyways, they just tested it, and they replaced like 30% of the parts with 3D printed parts. And they were testing it with all the 3D printed parts. They just tested it like a week or two ago in Europe, and it did well. Produced as much and saved like 20% of the cost, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, Connecticut's got weird laws. They keep going back and forth with the fireworks. Sparklers and some of them ground effect ones are all legal. There's a couple of small. I'm not sure. I don't actually think it was. I think it's the. Yeah, I think it is laser sinister. They sinister it and then they bake it after to solidify, make it solid. The laser gets a form to hold, but then they actually have to bake it and like cure it in an oven to get all the metal to really hold together. Yeah, it's pretty much Connecticut's a little above that with the snakes and sparklers, but not much. There's a couple like the little, the cans about that time, and you just light them up, and it just like makes a. I call it the sparkler Christmas tree. It just shoots them up in the air a little bit. Yeah, so kiln. Exactly. What was the word I was looking for? Kiln. The ice is gone. I think all the rum settled to the top because that's not that strong. It's kind of blackened yet. Anyway, so yeah, nobody wants to jump in, I guess, huh? Hey, RCCNC, are you on Twitter or Facebook or any of those places? And then I can contact you. Facebook as RCCNC. You can't really direct message through freaking YouTube, can you? There's no port remove, use timeout, move moderator, go to channel. You have one subscriber and no videos. Well, you know what the easiest thing, because you can, if you're on Facebook, I'm actually the creator / admin / moderator of Friendly 3D Printing on Facebook. That's my thing. I started 2 years ago. A couple thousand people. So if you join Friendly 3D Printing, actually, there you go. Your screen. Your entire screen. Your screen. Bring this window up. Facebook. Friendly 3D Printing. That's my baby. So if you join that, then you can direct message me on Facebook. Okay, I have 2 messages, or 2 bells, or 2 notifications, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I come and go with Facebook. I just don't. Headphone, Larry. Oh, here you go. Since I got it shared. If you know what these are, you should probably go back and replace that mailbox from 40 years ago. And yes, I have blown up a mailbox or 2 with an M80. And yeah, I actually did replace it for him. 10 years later. I apologized. Because I was a stupid little punk kid. But yeah, if you join this group, Friendly 3D Printing Group, I'm the admin, and then I can get a hold of you. Does it work for you? Is that you who just tried to join? Barry? Is that your name? Approve. Cherry bomb. Yeah, cherry bombs are not M80s. Cherry bombs are like half the strength. They're like M40s, I guess. We used to get M80s, like M100s, quarter sticks. Cool. Quit. Let's see. This one. Members. Join date. Message. Come on. Take your own sweet time. And there you go. You have been messaged on Facebook. I come and go with Facebook. My brother, the computer scientist, that is actually his title. I love. I'm not bragging about it. I sort of am. I kind of more bust on his chops. It's kind of funny because when he was going to college for all this computery crap, I used to call him the rocket scientist. He's like, I'm not playing with rockets, and I'm not a scientist. And when he used to work for Red Hat. He just left Red Hat recently for a better job, you know. Anyway, they handed him a business card when he got to Red Hat. And actually, no, I think it was because he's worked for Silicon Graphics and a few other big ones. He's like really good. But he got a business card that said computer scientist. And he started laughing so hard he like took a picture of it and emailed it to me. He goes, "Look, I really am a scientist now." I've been, I mean, ever since we were like in we were both in college. He's only a couple of years older than I am. I just started college and he was basically getting out of college. I kept going, "Yeah, you're a scientist." He goes, "No, I'm not a scientist. I'm in computer something, computer engineer or some crap, software engineer." That's what I was. He's a computer software engineer. And his little card comes up and says computer scientist. Really, for Curiosity? I've been wanting to check out Curiosity Stream. I've been watching the ads every once in a while. And I've been wanting to do the like free 1 week or whatever and check it out. What I've heard though is there's like 3 or 4 really good programs. And then you watch them and you're like, well, okay. That's all there really is. Oh, you're joining the group too? Okay. One res printing. Dude, I love your little zombie frickin' alien, whatever that is, head. By the way, I just love your little avatar / crap. One rest. It's awesome. I might have to model one of my zombies for the zombie sign. That way. Zombie sign. After your little avatar. Is that from something or is that something you just stole? Yeah, I come and go with them. I watch the BBC a lot. Documentaries are one of those things I often put on in the background when I'm like doing stuff. Like if I were doing this, like I'll design crap on Infusion and I'll put a documentary because my iPad will connect to Comcast. It's one good thing about Comcast. Comcast has some good features. For all their ill abilities, they have some really good features. I can watch TV on my iPad off my DVR or off live stream or on my iPad, which a lot of the cable companies will allow you to do. But Comcast has a pretty good setup. It works pretty well, I gotta say. Anyway, I will put it on like my iPad, and I got a little stand right here, and I put the iPad here, and I'll be designing on the computer, and I'll be watching on my iPad, and like put like documentaries and the BBC and the what's that BBC big thing, the World or Globe or whatever they do, and it's just. Every once in a while I'll see something cool and I'll stop designing and I'll watch it for 5 minutes and then go back to designing. It's kind of always there in the background. That's what documentaries are good for to me. I don't sit and watch them. They're always just kind of there. And I kind of half listen, half watch. And every once in a while something cool comes on. So I'll pay attention for 5 minutes and then let it blow off to something else. The BBC does that. What the hell is that? Can't think of the name of it. What is it the BBC does? The Earth thing. The world or the Earth. Earth in HD or whatever they call it. You got a name for it. Now they have a second version of it out. Honestly, I don't think it's as good. The video is better. The actual documentary itself isn't as good. Planet Earth, that's what it is. Planet Earth. Which is cool. I mean, it's great. I actually like the one Will Smith did with I'm having a brain fart tonight. It's not the rum coke, I'm just having a brain fart tonight. The one Will Smith did was really good. Will Smith, I hope they do another season of that. Because Will Smith did the commentary on that. Awesome. I like Will Smith for all his issues, and he's great. The only thing I've seen that I haven't liked is this little Netflix show he just did recently. It wasn't bad. I watched like 2 episodes and I couldn't watch it. I'm getting tired. It's been a long day. I start at 4:30 in the morning. It's 9:15 or 9:45. I start at 4:30 every morning. I actually go out and mow the lawn at 5:30 in the morning right now. I do a chunk of the lawn every morning because that's the only time it's cool enough to go out there and push the lawnmower around and not sweat my ass off. Literally. 5:30 in the morning, I'm out on the lawn. And it's really awesome because I have a battery-powered lawnmower. So I don't wake up the neighbors with it. It's kind of quiet. It's awesome. It mows the lawn quite well. It's got plenty of power. I can mow the whole lawn with my battery-powered lawnmower. It takes 2 40-volt batteries. And those 2 batteries will mow the whole lawn, which is 1 acre and a third. With the house and the sheds and the garage on it. But it'll mow the whole lawn with those 2 batteries. If I wanted. I usually put 1 in it, and when they get to about half drain, that's when I stop in the morning right now because it's just too hot and humid around here. You just need a new reverse parent. Yeah. If you only knew what kind of trouble I was to them. This is just payback. I was not a good child. Let's leave it at that. I was trouble. Put it this way, I was in 3 major car accidents that I have literally broken every bone in my body except for 2. I've never broken my hip, and I've never broken either one of my collarbones. Those are the only bones I have not broken. I've broken my neck, my back, my legs, my arms, my skull, ripped half my face off. The whole, this side of my face has been completely removed, skinned right off. You'd be amazed at the amount of plastic surgery I've had. You can actually see I've broken my neck. These are from the halo I wore for 8 months after breaking my neck. Broken all my fingers. These 2 fingers were severed off. These don't work. I have to think about it. You never notice, but I have to think about it to make them curl. They've been completely severed off. These 2 fingers. They were sewn back on. They're fake. My leg's fake. This is all stainless steel. No bone. All stainless steel. Yep. Payback. They did all that for me. I'll do it for them. Believe me. Yeah, electric chainsaw. I was surprised. I got all the Greenwork stuff. They're not professional quality. Don't get me wrong. They're way ballsier than I ever thought. I've cut down like 40 or 50 trees. And, I'm not talking trees. I'm talking trees. Small, 8 or 10 inch. It's a 12-inch blade. But I go with 140-inch battery or 40-volt battery. I can cut down like 6 or 7 trees. I can work like 4 or 5 hours on one battery. Granted, you're not cutting constantly. But, you cut the tree down. You branch it, you split it up into log, 2 or 3 foot log sized pieces, clean it all up on one battery. And it cuts it, it's a little slower than gas, but the reality is you pull the trigger and it's going. There's no rant. There's no upkeep. There's no gas. There's no oil. There's no spark plugs. There's just no BS with it. Yeah, what one did you get? That's a big bar for battery power. What one do you have that's an 18-inch bar for battery power? Well, here's the thing. I bought the electric chainsaw because I have been through, every time a hurricane comes through, I live on the shoreline in Connecticut, like right on the shoreline. If you go look out that window, this window right here, the sound is a quarter mile away. It's a straight shot. There's nothing between that window and sound except for the train tracks. There's that window, my driveway, the railroad tracks, and about a half a mile, or not even a half a mile, 1/8 of a mile of swamp. And then it's the sound. So when hurricanes come through here, we get wiped. The thing is you buy a gas-powered chainsaw, I use them like maybe once every 3 years. And then I use the hell out of it. But you buy one, and then you got to take it to the shop and constantly fix it. And they don't run right. And, they're great when they're brand new, and then it sits for 2 or 3 years in the garage. Then you go start it up, and you got to buy new plugs, blah, blah, blah. Battery power just goes, and you just go. And I've got weed whackers now, and hedge trimmers, and the lawnmower, and what the hell else? Leaf blower, all on the same batteries. Got like 8 of the batteries now, all the equipment. It just works. You don't. There's really no maintenance. I mean, I oil some things, and like the chain needs to be oiled, and I sharpen the blades, but there's no real. It's not like BS maintenance. Are they as powerful as gas? No. The lawnmower is way lighter than a gas one, like way lighter. Even with both batteries in it, it is so much lighter than a gas lawnmower. Easier to push. It mows just as well. It's 20-inch. It's actually got 2 10-inch mini blades with 2 motors. They're only about that long. And they overlap. It's supposed to be 20-inch. I think it's only really like 19 because it overlaps a half an inch or an inch. And they're 10-inch blades. But still, it mows the lawn fine. It's light. It's crap. You can pick it right. I can literally mow, and I can grab the handle and just pick it the whole lawnmower right up if I hit a rock or something. I got a weed whacker. The weed whacker works just as well as gas. It's quieter. Both the lawnmower and the weed whacker have sensors, resistance sensors on them. So if you start mowing and you hit thick grass, it winds up even faster. But if you're on thin stuff, it'll like slow it down and save battery power, so it lasts longer. Same with the weed whacker. If you're in real heavy grass or you start hitting like rocks or something, it'll wind it up even higher automatically. You don't have to pull the throttle anymore. It's freaking. They're pretty brilliant now. The batteries. I will say I've had it a while now, and I've got like 6 chargers because I bought all the accessories and they always come with a charger. Probably 2 or 3 of my chargers, the batteries are fine. The chargers are going out. I'll put a battery in it and I'll come back an hour later and the red light's sprinkling real fast. Like the battery shot. I take the battery out, I put it in one of the chargers and it works fine. I put another battery in that charger and the red light will, so the charger's going. It's all Greenworks. I have all Greenworks stuff. And it is not high-end stuff. This is homeowner grade, occasional use equipment. But the price is not that much more. Hey, Rover. The price is not that expensive. It's a little pricey, but for what you get, it just works. And I mean, I do professional stuff like that too. And I use gas, and the gas works, and it's more. There's no question. Gas is more powerful. Blah blah blah. It cuts faster. It does everything better. But it's so close now that for everyday around the yard use, I'll take the battery power. It's quiet. I don't need big earphones. I don't need to yank and yank and yank and yank and yank to get it started. I don't have to worry about mixing gas and oil. I plug a battery in and I go. And the batteries charge faster and they wear out now. So one wears out, you plug it in, you take the old one out, you put it in the unit. By the time you wear out the next battery, the other one's already charged and ready to go. I will take battery power any day. You have a snapper battery powered? That's pretty cool. I did not know they made battery powered. I just read that, from 5-10 minutes ago. Yeah, DeWalt is. I've dealt with a lot of DeWalt battery powered, and it's not terrible. Not going to say it's terrible. My list of battery powered stuff is, if you get into professional tools, is Milwaukee is king. Milwaukee quality, build, lasting ability, power output, the whole 9 yards, battery powered is Milwaukee. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Makita, number 2, very close. Worth every penny. If you got all Makita, I have all Makita stuff now because Makita is generally a little cheaper. You can often find Makita on Wicked sales too, which I have. Makita is very, very, very close. Bosch, very close. I'd say Makita and Bosch is tied. DeWalt right under them, not by much. Ryobi is better. Yeah, okay. Hey, Mr. Buttram, when did you get in here? I didn't even see you come in here. Oh, just now. Supsters. Ryobi, the Ryobi isn't bad either if you're not. I mean, I did the stuff professionally, so Ryobi wasn't great. But for the, if you're just a homeowner-y kind of putzing around, there is nothing wrong with the Ryobi. If it works and it does the job, and you're using it, if you're using it every day, all day long, like I was, Ryobi sucks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're a homeowner-y, I need to hang a picture on the wall or fix a door jam or, and you use it a couple of times a week tops, there's nothing wrong with Ryobi, Black & Decker. Save the money, buy those. Don't waste your money on professional grade stuff. Of the 12 volt, there is nothing that beats these right here. If you're using it every day, I put this 12 volt up against 18 volt crap, and it will keep up with it all day long, every day. This thing is freaking amazing. And this is not, I got a Sawzall for this and the impact. I don't really use this drill that much. I don't use drills that much. I use impacts more than I use a drill. But this thing just smokes it, especially the 12 volt. The Bosch is very close. I have a Bosch set here too. I think it's right here. It is. The Bosch 12 volt is pretty nice. I mean, I used to use this stuff every day, all day long. And I started going to the 12 volt over the 18s just for fatigue purposes. And the 12 volt has almost as much power, not quite, but the impact is almost better in some stance because it's not as powerful. There's times you can literally, an impact over. People, if you don't know what an impact is, get yourself a battery powered impact. This kit is $100. You can often find it at Home Depot. Hey, there's my little screwdriver I was looking for. That belongs right there. You can often find this on sale for $79. This kit right here at Home Depot or something. You got to actually walk in. It's not something you're going to find online. But they'll have like the last year's model or something like that. Discontinued. All of my tools. These I got. This was normally a $300 set. I got this, the Sawzall, the flush cutter, the impact, everything. Normally sold for like $325. I got it for $200. It was one of those. This is brushed. It's not brushless, which is fine. This is brushless, and I got it for $100. If you go in, especially like right after Christmas, believe it or not, they will unload. And right now, actually, there's a lot of unloading at like Home Depot, Lowe's, any of the hardware stores. This thing is nuts, though. I've had this thing like yank right out of my arm. This drill is incredible for it. And it's 12 volt. It's not even 18 volt. Porta cable. Porta cable's fine. I had porta cable for years. I had the whole set of porta cable. There's some stuff I really like about the porta cable. I basically got rid of my whole porta cable set for when it was just getting old. I'd had it 4 or 5 years, and 4 or 5 years in my business is old. They don't last that long. They wear out. The circular saw on the porta cable was just wimpy. It just couldn't cut it. Craftsman is not bad. Again, that's kind of, it's homeowner-ish, which is fine if that's what you're using it for. If you're using it once or twice a week, not every day, all day long, it's fine. The Craftsman are pretty nice now, especially now that Lowe's is carrying them. They've actually, from what I understand, I haven't played with them, but from what I understand, since Sears closed and Lowe's took them over, they've redone some of their designs and stuff. The only thing I'm really depressed about is Hitachi closing and selling out. There's no longer any Hitachi hand tools or power tools. They're all Metabo. Metabo bought out Hitachi tools. So now it's Metabo HT, which is Hitachi tool. Supposedly they're still the same. I've been looking at them. They're not the same. Here we are branching off on the tools. Talent with 3D printing. Let's talk about power tools. There is no better if you can find yourself a sliding Makita miter box. Makita make the best miter box ever. You have to find the one with the big, huge table. It's got this massive table. They stopped making it like 2010, I think. They made it for like 15 years. It was awesome. Then you got the original Hitachi 1013, which is a 10-inch. That was the second best, if not The stair guys like the Itachi better than the Makita. I like the Makita better for trimming. I like the bigger table, and it was more accurate and more stable. Most of my stair guys I used to work with liked the Itachi better because of the way it slid. It was different. It was better for the oak. The Makita was better for the big boards and the pines. It would cut long. It had a longer cut, but the Itachi was way more powerful. It had a stronger motor, but you can't get either one of them anymore because they're both gone. Makita has become cheap crap in their sliding chop box. They actually came out with another one, and not the zero clearance BS that they're all trying to do now. Those things are garbage. They're too flimsy. If you can grab the handle and go, how are you going to cut a straight line if it's that wimpy? I don't get it. But the Itachi, and actually, I still think, even though Metabo took it over, I still think they're making that model, the 1013, which is, I have one. I still have it. It's old. It's worn out. I've dropped it. The handle's broken. I just bought new handles for it because I want to fix it. I was actually, I don't know if you watched one of my videos like 6 months ago, I was going to 3D print the handles, and I gave up on it because the way the wires are run, you got to make it too thin in there, and the 3D printing won't hold. And I can't think of how to make the handle where you can still grab it and not be like, this massive monstrosity that you can't wrap your hand around, like this big around, and pull the trigger. It won't work. So I bought the handles. That is good. I do like that they did that because there are things battery powered, table saws, chop boxes. Makita came out with a battery powered chop box like years and years and years and years ago, like really, really long time ago. I had one. My company bought me one because I used to do I used to run big corporate job sites of, like 6 buildings in an apartment complex. We'd build these huge buildings with like 50 or 60 apartments in each building, plus 6 or 7 buildings, if not more. Plus big, my last one was 380 some odd houses in this huge complex, and they were all massive, like 600 or 6,000 square foot homes. And I'd go in and do all the little repairs. Something wasn't right, piece of trim didn't get installed right. I'd go in and do it. Instead of bringing this big massive thing, my company bought me this. It was like $1,200. It was a little 7 1/4 inch, same blade as your regular hand circular saw, chop box, and it was awesome. Battery powered, ran off the Makita 18-volt batteries. Didn't last long. You can do like 20 cuts with it tops before it started going meow. And that's back with the old batteries. I want to say lithium ion. Those are the new batteries. NiCads. Back with the old NiCads. Yes, I did a lot of that. Was my thing. I actually specialized in ADA compliance. In other words, I knew all the ADA laws. I had licenses. In New York, you used to have a license to do ADA, which is your handicap crap. You didn't have to, but it helped. I built all the dividers, did all the trim work, hardware, cabinetry. That's what I did for the company. I also did a lot of framing, years and years and years. I did everything in construction from the foundation up. The only thing I didn't do was foundations. No, thank you. I'll leave that for the seriously gnarly guys. Those guys are crazy. Slugging around freaking foundation forms and crap. That's just nuts. I could do that for a couple hours. I can't do that all day, every day. No way in hell. That's just, you gotta be a serious monster gorilla, freaking humongous guy to do that. Braille exit bathroom signs, yeah. I've installed a couple of those. Yeah, I used to do all that. I've done a couple of, like if you, not in Lowe's, but if you go into Lowe's or Home Depot or any place that has the fiberboard dividers between the bathrooms, I used to install all that crap. And that stuff I did personally. I wouldn't bring a crew in to do those. I had it so down to a system I could do it faster than those guys could anyways. Hardware. I had a set of guys, I cannot tell you, 6,000 square foot house. We're talking raised panels, shadow boxing, crown molding, all the doors, all the exterior and interior trim, but all the like casements and doors and all the fancy. We used to like do shadow boxing up the staircase and raised panels and all that. I had a crew of Brazilians that when I first started working for this company, they used to come in, and my original boss for the company said, "How long to trim this house?" He brought me this, 6,000 square foot house, and he showed me the whole. We're talking tray ceilings, and they were fake tray. We do it all with trim. It wasn't framed in. We did it with trim. He goes, "How long to trim this house?" 4 guys. A week and a half. They do it in 4.5 hours. I was like, what? I mean, quality, nice work. But you have to set them up. And that was the thing my boss showed me when I first started doing this. Is like, you have to prep them. The day before you go in, and I carry all the doors up and set them in the jam. The trim is all, we used to get it from the factory, all pre-cut, pre-joined, pre-mitered. So you have this big horseshoe-shaped piece of trim, the whole 9 yards, all the boards where they need them in each room. And they come in and just freaking cut it and nail it up. They do 2 houses in a day if I let them. Those guys were good, too. Crown molding, the whole 9 yards. They did crown molding like unbelievable. And then I had another set of all Brazilians. I had another set of Brazilians that would do these like $60,000, $70,000 kitchens with cherry wood, beautiful raised panels, all the crown molding, all the trim, all the crap. 2 of them could do that whole kitchen in like 3 hours. Mount the whole thing, all the cabinetry, done, islands, everything. I was like, that's freaking nuts. And it's not like they just slapped it up. They did good work. Like, really nice. Like, holy crap. I'd have a hard time finding anything wrong with it kind of work. They were good. All the Brazilians. Even to this day, I just can't imagine. I've sat there and watched them like, how the hell? But they had a system, The boss would go in, get everyone started. He would hang all the doors. Like all of them. 20, 30 of them. He'd have it done in like 20 minutes. It literally didn't take him like 10 minutes. He had a system. He had these special jigs and everything. Again, these were like cookie cutter houses. There's 3 models of house, so they're all the same and the same size doors. And he had these jigs that he just slap into the door, depending on what side it is. He had a 30-inch, a 28-inch, a 26-inch, and a 32, and a 36. And he had a jig, and he just slap it into the door and nail the door up. Then the guy would come behind him, nail the trim up. But it was, they did nice, put a level on it, and it was perfect. It was just amazing how good those guys were. Yeah, that's one thing we don't do. If you get good framers and you work with your framers, you don't have to find studs. So one thing I did do that my boss was impressed with, and that's what saved me a whole bunch of money. I took a cut when I started this job. It was a Pulte housing complex. I don't know if you guys know who Pulte is. They are the largest. Well, Avalon and Pulte bounce back and forth, but Pulte is generally the largest home builder in the United States. They build more houses and blah, blah, blah. But the framer we had there doing the 380 plus houses, I took a cut and gave it to him through Pulte and said, you will put ledgers up everywhere in the kitchens, anywhere we need this, that, or the other thing. Kitchens, bathrooms, because I did all the ADA handrails and grabber bars and all that. I said, you will put a 2x6. So we didn't have to find studs. There was nailing all across at a certain height. So no matter where I shot a screw, I hit a stud. Because they would stud it and then they'd put 2x6 across. So you never have to find a stud. You always hit something solid. Yeah, you always put a hanger in the wall. 2x6. Just put a scrap, and it's just scrap. 14.5 inches between a 16-inch stud. 16 on center, it's a 14.5 piece. 14.5 inches, just scraps. And you just nail them up there. They just screw them on up there. No matter where I put a cabinet, no matter where I shot a screw, as long as it was at the right height, I'd hit something solid, which made it faster for us. Makes it more solid. Makes the whole building more solid too. Nailers. Nailers everywhere. Bathrooms and kitchens. Staircases. So you don't have to worry about it with the handrails going up the staircase. I can space the brackets coming off the handrail. So trying to find a stud, and they always look okay. But if you can just take the handrail, divide it into said lengths, set it up, you can just put the brackets anywhere you want, as long as there's nailers there. Makes it so much easier, and it looks better too. Instead of having one here and then one real close and then one way up because of the angle of the handrail, you can't really find a stud right away. And it's better if you can just space them out wherever you want. 16-foot handrail, you want 4 or 5 hangers on it, brackets. If you have the nailers there, you can put them wherever you want. Yes, there's something to be said about putting nailers in everywhere in your house at said heights. Kitchens, you always wanted it 30 inches in whatever you're, depending on your ceiling height and what size cabinets you got. Generally at 6 foot. That way you always have a nailer. Screw, 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 go. We actually used to build the cabinets on the floor. With the upper cabinets, we'd build the whole rack on the floor, and then 2 or 3 would come up and just slap it up on the wall, and one guy go behind with a ladder and screw it to the wall. A lot easier than trying to hang on one cabinet at a time and level it and get the face all joined. Build the whole thing as one unit right on the floor. Couple, 3 guys walk up, pick it up, slap it on the wall. Guy goes behind it, screws it to the wall, done. Yeah, lath and plaster is not as strong as you think it is. It's nice, don't get me wrong. Don't try and take it down. Oh, what a mess. You can screw some things to lath and plaster. You can screw your basic, like, sheetrock hangery type stuff to it. I would not hang cabinets off the lath. I'll be right back. I gotta go for a second. All right, I'm back. Do. I had to pee really badly. Thinking of that, I didn't wash my hands. Washing my hands. Trying to trace down my thermal bed runaway issue. 99.999% of the time, a thermal bed runaway is the thermistor is not registering, not connected, the wire broke, it just plain failed. Almost all the time you get bed, thermal runaways. Hot end, or it's either a connection to the thermistor or the thermistor itself failed. Almost always. At least that I found. Because it's new doesn't mean you connected it correctly. Kidding. What time is it? 20 after 10. Owned the Prusa heat bed. New Marlin. What do you mean by new Marlin? 2.0 or 1.9? I haven't had a problem with 1.9. I got 1.9 on both of these, and it's just been flawless. Yeah, that's true. The voltage could be off. 1.9 plug fix. You should be good with that. Most of the time, thermal runaway is hardware related. It's not firmware or software. It's usually hardware related. Wire's not connected. Wire split somewhere. Something's not connected correctly. The thermistor's not set. The other thing is if the thermistor's not like, I don't know which bed you have, but some of them it like has a little knock in the aluminum plate to go up into. Sometimes you just tape the thermistor to it. Sometimes if the tape isn't tight enough and the thermistor sags away from the bed, that'll do it because it's not registering enough heat. Chris was saying the code that throws the runaway is more sensitive. Chris who? Chris Riley or Chris Warchak or Warsaki or whatever his name is. The aluminum heat spreader tape also. Sure. Yeah. The Daily Micron guy. Yeah, they're both pretty good. Chris Smith. That's a general name. Chris Smith. There's got to be a billion of those in the U.S. The most popular name, Chris, first name, and the most popular last name, Smith. Hit up Chris Riley. Did you see his Chris Riley's top 5 things you should know about 3D printing? And I put in his comment the top 5 things you should know about 3D printing. And I was trying to be nice and not make him number one, so I was like, watch Angus videos, watch Tom videos, watch 3D printing new videos. Ask Chris Riley. Those are the top 5 things you should know about 3D printing. If you got a problem, ask Chris Riley. Well, that might be a problem. Bang Bang mode is not. Actually, that's running Bang Bang. Seems to heat up slower for some reason than Bang Bang, which makes no sense because it's really got nothing to do with the actual heat up. So I think it's just me, and it just seems like it heats up slower. Actually, both of those are running. Actually, all three of them are. I think the pretty sure my Duet I have running it in Bang Bang too. Was running. Oh, I see. Supposedly, Bang Bang is actually supposed to be more stable for the bed. I don't know why, but supposedly it's more stable. I gotta fix this. It's driving me nuts. There we go. All better. A fleur. You got a fleur. A fleur. It's just an odd name for something. Fleur. Kind of a funny word. Fleur. I have a fleur. Here's a fleur. Heat sensing thing for your camera. Fleur. Anyway. Yes, the rum and coke is kicking in. Well, you have to uncomment, but you have to turn off the Bang Bang. That's probably why. You probably have it both running. Actually, no. Marlin will. The minute you turn on PID, it turns off Bang Bang, doesn't it? I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. Wasn't that strong yet. Rum shot. And it wasn't even. Anyway. Yeah, do you. I think the minute you turn on PID, Bang Bang shuts off automatically, doesn't it? Oh, we'll combine them with both. Yeah, there you go. Actually, I think it's on the Duet the minute you turn on. The minute you uncheck PID, the Bang Bang just automatically shuts off. On the Duet. Is on that one. I'm probably going to sell. If I sell the Duet, get an SKR with 2208s. It'll do the same thing for less money. You can probably sell the Duet used and get the SKR with the 2208s and have cash left over. I do like the Duet interface though. I do like the web thing. I just don't. I want a screen. Just you gotta buy the Duo screen, which is obnoxious. I hate not being able to use a regular everyday screen because I don't need anything fancy. I don't need a touch screen. I just want to be able to look at the printer and go, oh, cool. I want to have to load web pages. You can get it either or. You can get it with soldered on 4880, whatever, the cheapo. Actually, I think you can get the 2208 soldered on too. Duet's nice. I'm not gonna knock the Duet, and I actually didn't like it at first. And kind of ranked on it, but once you get used to it, it has its advantages, and it's a good board, and I do like it. It's just I can sell it used and get just as good with a Pi on an SKR with 2208s. It's actually quieter. This is the quietest printer I have. It is quieter than the INZ board in this. Come on, go the right way. This. It's got an INZ board on it. That's quieter. That's definitely quieter. And Prince almost as well. Quieter. I shouldn't say it's quieter than Duet. It's about the same as Duet, but Duet's twice the price, like 3 times the price. And it's a good board. Don't get me wrong. I like the Duet. Just, eh. I can do the same thing for half the money, if not a third the money. It's like a third the money now with the SKR. Now I want to kind of wait with the SKR because it's still new. Everyone's ranting and raving about it. The INZ Retro is nice. I got the actual INZ when I bought it because the Retro was back ordered. The only real difference, there's a couple of differences, but the only real difference is the fans. The actual INZ Prusa version is the fans are 5 volt, which is not a problem. There's a couple other things. There's a few other ports and stuff that are changed, but it generally works the same. I was looking at the Retro. I should have gotten the Retro. I should have waited for it. There's some definite advantages when you're building a non-true Prusa by going with the Retro, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm about ready to head out. It's actually 10:30. Probably gonna kill it now. Actually, it's been 2 hours. I'm starting to fall asleep. Getting drowsy, which has nothing to do with the rum. The current sense resistors are a different value. Well, that's the other thing with the thermal runaway. If you're getting thermal runaway, you could have a different thermistor than you have set in your firmware, which will give you all kinds of misreadings and everything. The only way, I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but the way I found out, I did do it once, and the way I found out about it was I set it up and I went into firmware and blah, 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 and I fired it up, and the thing immediately said, I was at like 8 or 10 degrees Celsius instead of the average of like 20, 25 degrees Celsius that I normally have in this room, depending on the weather. It was like -8 or something. I'm like, okay, that's wrong. And come to find out, it was a different kind of thermistor, and you had to change the setting in the firmware to make it register right. Later, Viking. But usually, when you're getting thermal runaway, it's hardware related. Usually, not always, but usually. Drummond. So there was that. I think I'm going to cut it a little after 10:30, 10:31. And I have to get up in the morning. Wait. I don't know, man. Not looking at it, so I can't tell you. But first thing I always look for is make sure all the connections are good and straight and strong. Can't tell you how many times I've like built a plug, and then you go to plug it in, and the connector pushes out of the plug because I didn't force it in enough, but that it like clipped into the plug, if that makes sense. I've done that on numerous occasions, especially with the plugs on that there INZ board. There's a weird plugs. When you go to push them into the actual plastic plug, they don't always clip in all the way. So when I go to connect them to the board, you connect it, the pin pushes the plug out, and it doesn't actually connect. But yeah, I'm going to kill it. Time to go to bed. watch some TV for half an hour, and then go to bed. Getting tired. Late, 10:30. Not that late, but late. Fireworks are going off all over the place. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the mic, but it is the shoreline in Connecticut. So there's crazy people everywhere, including me. I'm one of them. Used to be, anyways. I'm just old and tired. So, yeah. Hope it works out for you for their RCCNC. You'll figure it out. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I mean, it's the night before the 4th. This is like a weird week because it doesn't often happen where it's like midweek that the 4th of July hits. Of course, my mother went to the doctor's today. My brother took her. This will be a good one for you. She left her purse in the doctor's office. So the little secretary girl was leaving. She's like calling. She's like, "Hello, you left your purse here. I had to open it up and check inside. We found it in the table in the office and blah, blah, blah." We're like, "Well, I'll come get it." It's like, "Well, we already locked the door and we're out the door and we're not coming back till Tuesday." Great. Like, you know what? That's fine. I'll get my mother's purse on freaking Tuesday. Tuesday. They're off until Tuesday. Good for them. Yeah. Good for them. Yeah, I'm off. I'm killing it now, guys. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to help me out, buy a t-shirt, or you can go to the Amazon wish list and buy some necessities I listed there to help my parents out. Whatever. Appreciate it. Anything you do. Thank you, Red Light, if you're still here, for the power supply we put on earlier. Hey, there's Chris. Hey, Chris, we're getting ready to close it. We're shutting it down right now. Thanks for stopping by. Buy a t-shirt. They're awesome. This is actually one of the t-shirts you get. I actually bought one myself because I have to see what the quality is, and they're actually very nice quality. Yeah, you missed it. It's all right. Nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not. Like I said, buy a t-shirt if you want to help my parents out and me out. You can parents and printing, yeah. Or you can hit I got the Amazon wish list there too. You can buy them toilet paper, paper towel that helps way more than you believe it actually does. Everything helps at this point. And that's the end of it. Thanks a lot for stopping by. We BS'd a lot. It was fun. We talked about some 3D printing. And a lot of tools. Talked about tools a lot. Some other crap. It's fun. Have a good night. Enjoy your 4th of July if you're from the States. If not, enjoy your 4th of July in Europe or Australia, if that's where you're from. See you guys.